Potsquatch Growers. Yes, it's another little live stream here. We figured we'd give you a quick little Sunday Funday live stream show today. I am flying out to Prince Edward Island this evening for, I don't know if any of you would have remembered, but my best friend, Big A, he's been on the show a couple of times in years gone by. He is getting married. Oh, that's right. So sweet. Oh, love, all that jazz. So Big A's getting married, so I'm flying out to Prince Edward Island, everybody. I got to fly out there because I'm the best man and I'm going to be at the wedding doing wetting things and all that shit. So, anyway, we figured we'd try to squeeze in a quick live stream for everybody before I fly tonight. And to be fair, I'm going to have a fair amount of free time or downtime for the time when I'm in PEI. So maybe we'll see if we can kind of do a bit of a live stream from Prince Edward Island for everybody as well. I hope everyone's having a wonderful day so far. We're just chilling here. I've been doing laundry, sort of tidying, puttering, and getting ready for having Uncle Michael come to take care of the plants. In terms of getting the plants ready for Uncle Michael, I mean, since we did all that training, they're slowly bouncing back. We're in the transitional period on the plant where the plant itself is just getting healthy, coming to terms with the fact that, we just planted it horizontally. We stripped all the fan leaves off. We stripped the fan leaves on the day where we then broke its root ball, into the horizontal grow and mounted it. All of those secondary leaves typically wouldn't be getting direct sunlight, so obviously there's an initial adjustment for those leaves in terms of the high intensity lighting of the LEDs. We did originally have both fixtures plugged in, but then I'm like, man, it's going to take them, a week and a bit to kind of get used to this light transition. So we'll after a couple of weeks, that's when we're really going to then fire up that second LED fixture in the tent, and we're gonna have a double squatch cranked or impacted into a 2x4. But it should be fun because since we're training everything out and kind of doing our mainlining, they're not going to go up too tall, which means we're not going to run into issues of the plants getting too close to the lights there. Let's go back to the very, very beginning and say hi to everybody. What's up, Daddy O'Grows? Good to see you. What's up, Dan Stutzky? What's up, Chris Barton? What's up, buddy? Good to see you. Marcus Paris? Good to see you, buddy. What's happening, Jansen Dennis? Good to see you. What's up, Mud Swap? What's up, Wonky Donkey? Anthony, good to see you, buddy. Eugene Dolan, good to see you. Little Chewy Stewie, buddy, good to see you. And Crip, what's happening, yo? Good to see everybody. It's good. So I'm getting excited. The transition for these plants to get used to kind of the secondary shift. So basically when we pull off all those fan leaves, we plant it horizontally, which is now basically changing how the plant is regulating itself. It is sending nutrients now to every single branch. It's now even Steven. Everything's being treated like a top. That's part of the transition we're witnessing after we kind of flip them over to the side the way that we have. And it'll be lots of fun. Lots and lots and lots of fun. We'll show you the plant, obviously, in a little bit for everybody. And, I'm sorry. I didn't hear you sneeze there, Mud Swat. God bless you. All right. But, things are good. Things are going well. The plants are coming along, and I basically today, I gave it a really big feed in order to prepare the plant. I mean, it's not going to need too much feed initially, which is good. I gave it a really, really big feed today. I'm hoping that should prove to be enough for while I'm gone. What I might do, though, is have an emergency backup pre-mixed feed that I can then just tell Uncle Michael, be like, man, dump that into the 3-liter green water jug, fill that up with water, and just dump the whole thing in. I'm trying to keep it as simple as possible so he doesn't have to worry about really doing anything. Right now, since we're waiting for that transition to happen where they're becoming primaries, the secondaries are kind of taking on their new roles, coming to terms with it, coming to terms with the lights, allowing them to grow out and stretch up is kind of what we're really wanting to happen. And then we're going to train that over and begin to do that. So when I get back from my trip, that's when we're going to install sort of the end bars and then the side bars that we're going to be training sort of all of those tops to the sides to make it a nice kind of even V, maximizing the surface area within the 2 feet there. What's up, Ganjanana, your mama? Good to see you. It's been a hot minute, girl. Good to see you. I hope you're doing well. What's up, Trichromes, Rock Your Socks? Good to see you, baby. All right. Little Chewy Stewie says, any chances of a 20 millimeter torque wrench? I don't have one here. I have them at my workshop at work. I speak to Gazzers quite frequently. He's on house arrest, as is Mel. I believe right now they've got another 8 months of house arrest due to the charges that they had to fight because of the draconian, backwards thinking of the legal realities and law of New Zealand, or the laws of New Zealand. Crip says, "Can I spray for thrips when in flower? Is it harmful?" Well, typically I tell people to never spray during flower if you can avoid it. Certain products can be used during flower. Jake's All-in-One, for example, all natural product. I have sprayed that as late as 7 weeks of flower. But you got to remember, though, really at the end of the day, spraying is not advisable during flower. When we do spray during flower, we need to be watching out for bud rot. We need to be watching out for powdery mildew, molding, all these types of things. If you've got thrips during flower, you can technically fight it and pull off a run. I've done it before. We had thrips on the last, I think it was the last run or one of the last runs we did at the house before my divorce. What did I use? I used two different types of beneficial mites or predatory mites. So I used a Cusimaris mite that was marching through out sort of the plant itself, attacking the thrip adults. And then I introduced soil-bound mites to take out any larval functioning things down in the soil there. So that would be my recommendation, because I mean, again, most sprays that you can use in flower are not going to be powerful enough to really fix your problem. So getting something that's going to, because remember with thrips, they're planting their eggs inside our foliar tissues of our fan leaves. Then that egg hatches, the larval state will fall down into the soil, it matures in the soil, and then that's when it'll march up into your plant and start attacking things. Sorry, everybody, I'm just reading everybody's messages now. Anyway, so Crip, I hope that helps. So the basic answer is yes, you technically can, but there's very few products you can use to spray during flower. It needs to be an all-natural product. And again, spraying isn't really going to do anything much, in my opinion. If you are in flower, you've got a fairly set in infestation happening on your plant. So given this, my friend, I would say try to get your hands on some predatory bugs is going to be your main best approach on that. Hey, thank you very much, Eugene Dolan. That we were going to do kind of a version of this on a much bigger scale at the lab, but obviously that didn't happen. So we're doing kind of a micro version of what I wanted to do, and I've tweaked it. Obviously, the original idea wasn't going to be sort of mainlined horizontally off a main rod or a piece of doweling out of the bucket. The way I'm doing it this time, but this is the best way in my mind for me to achieve what I want to do within the tent and kind of experiment that way. Yes, a little chewy stewy. I'm doing a one plant 2x4, maximizing the grow in the 2x4 by mainlining, training, growing horizontally. So I've basically planted into a bucket horizontally. I'm training it out along a doweling rod to fill the tent. I'm going to run two side rails that we're then going to strap those tops down to, perfectly filling the tent, building kind of a V within the 2x4. So it's going to be like this off that main line. So we're going to put the second or side rails a little bit higher. So that V is going to maximize the surface area of our canopy. So it's not going to be just 2x4 feet straight canopy. We're actually going to have a greater canopy allowance with the way we're doing this. So it'll increase that. You know what I'm saying? My name is Rebel Wolf. Just saw your channel on my live feed, so I decided to jump in and check it out. What are you talking about? Dude, we're talking about cannabis. We're talking about the new mainlining experiment that I'm doing here, where I'm growing a plant out the side of a pot, running it along a 1/2-inch piece of doweling, and how we're going to be training it out to maximize the production of a 2x4, but at the same time increasing surface area of our canopy. The way we're doing this, we're gonna have a greater surface area than if I were to just throw a scrog in, for example. A lot of people have been throwing me some flack, like just put a net on it, just do some scrogging. Fuck that, I hate scrogging, I'm not a scrogger. I would much rather do this. It is vastly more interesting to me in the end. 1 second here, everybody, I'm just reading. Oh shit, you got a Gazer's Madness that's 14 feet tall, bro? That's amazing, dude. Jansen, you got to get me a picture of that. Send it over, and then I'll send that over to Gaz. I think he'd love to see that. That'd be pimp. It's funny we're allowed like 3 ounces legal and we can grow. The problem is people get pounds from plants. Yeah, no, I feel you. So for example, in Canada, how our laws work, if I can produce it, like, I mean, I have a medical permit, so I'm allowed to grow more than just 4. But if I were just a normal person here in Canada, if I can prove that all the cannabis came from 4 plants, so there is no possession limit in your household if you produce it yourself. The possession limit in Canada for going out and about and around is 30 grams. You're allowed 30 grams on your person, or the equivalent of such in terms of extracts. Whatever there, Jordan. Whatever makes you happy there, Buttercup. Have a nice day. All right. Mudswat says, I showed my cousin your mainline video. He was blown away. Well, I mean, the concept is kind of mind-blowing maybe initially. It will be more mind-blowing a couple months from now once I've had time to really train it all out, get it fully filled, and then flip it into flower. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, kind of very similar, little chewy stewy, to like a vine, kind of a tech sort of style of doing it. Yeah. Yes, Jansen Dennis, I look like bald Bruce Willis, maybe. To some, anyway. I mean, I don't think we look alike, but we both bald and white. That's true. Mudswat says, one lower branch of my cannabis ended up mainlining itself. Hey, very cool, man. I dig it. How did it mainline itself? Did it tie itself up? Well, yeah, a little chewy stewy. So it is going to be a longer veg for sure. Really, once we have those secondary branches convert into primaries and they start to kind of get their stretch on and they get tall enough that we can actually train them down, it'll fill out a lot faster. I think it will seem a little slow at first, but then all of a sudden it's going to pick up very, very quickly and we will have that tent filled very quickly, yo. Yo, what's up, King LCR17? Shout out to you, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Welcome to the show, buddy. 1 second here. I'm just reading everybody. My dogs are about to flip the fuck out. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Warriors Dub Nation, laugh out loud. Jay Blaze says, what's up? What's up, Jay Blaze? How you doing, buddy? Hey, Alien Garden Genetics, cheers without the beers to you, even though, well, I'm having a beer. So cheers with my beer to your no beer. Hell yeah, buddy. Yassine Voldars, what is your favorite book? I have many books that are my favorite books. I read a lot. I like a lot of books. My favorite author, easier question to answer, would be Spider Robinson. He's a science fiction writer, originally from the States, but I think he's originally from America. He lived in the Maritimes for a long time in Nova Scotia, went to school out there. Hey! Stop. He's quite old now, but check out Callahan's Cross Time Saloon. Time Pressure is another good book by him. There's quite a few good books over the years and short stories that he's written. So my favorite author, though, would be Spider Robinson. Is Betty there? Oh, yeah. Both Betty and Mogwai sticking their heads out the window, barking at all of our neighbors. What's up, Miss K's Garden? What's up, Joe Burns? Good to see you, buddy. All right. Sorry, everybody. I'm just reading. No worries, Yassine Valders. Check out, like I said, though, check out Spider Robinson. Really, really, really interesting read. The guy's very, very smart. It's very well written. It's science fiction, so it plays like a lot with time. There's a lot of drugs and sex and mind-bending concepts, and sort of, a lot of the times the main protagonists in the books are kind of like these sort of hippie dudes. So it's like I feel like a lot of the books, the protagonists are often sort of connected to Spider Robinson's view of himself in a weird way. Probably one of the best, you know what? A really good one to start with would be Time Pressure. It's not as intense in certain ways, but it's really fun conceptually in terms of what he's writing about. The basic premise of that one is in the future, this guy learns the language of the human mind and he uses it to take over the world, but not to be evil or nefarious. He actually takes over the world in order to save it. And in the future, guys, stop. There's all these people that meld their minds together into one hive mind to create the image of God. It's playing on the whole concept of, we are all made in the image of God, so therefore fully united, we could then thus become like a God type thing. But then something goes wrong. They've lost something of humanity. So they actually blend 3 or 4 people into one person who's this chick that gets sent back in time. And it's trippy, man. It's definitely, all of the Spider Robinson books go very well with getting stoned as fuck and reading. Let's see here. What's up, channel guy? Or that guy, channel 2. Sorry, channel guy. Oh, shit. What's up, buddy? Calm down, man. This is me pretty fucking chill there, buddy. Dude, you obviously don't know whose show you're in, but like this is who I am. I talk fast, I think quickly, and I do a lot of weird sounds. This is pretty tame for me, bud. But yeah, so anyway, Spider Robinson, everybody, check it out. It's a good time. If you ever want to read something that is probably one of the hardest things you're going to read in terms of following it or understanding it, you could read one of my father's books too. He's got 5 books that have been released now. With the 6th is technically done. It just has not been released yet. Miss K's Garden asks, how's the new job going? The new job is going very, very well, Miss K's Garden. Thank you very much. I fix things all day. I get to play with tools. I'm learning lots, and I'm doing well. I haven't been fired yet. I'm actually on vacation as of last night. Puppies, stop it. Puppies, puppies, stop it. Betty, no. So I'm on vacation now as of yesterday, though. So I'm excited to be on vacation. It was kind of funny. I took the job, and I was like, hey, guys, I got to go to a wedding, though, like right after working for you for like 3.5 weeks. So here I am taking a vacation 3.5 weeks into a new job. But it's going well. Thank you for asking, Miss K. Sultan Mahmood Ghaznavi. I'm from Pakistan and think Trump is needed for the sake of the world. Sultan Mahmood Ghaznavi, I will respectfully defend your right to think that way, but I will also say I wholeheartedly disagree with you in any way. But this is not a political show. I have my views. Many at home have different views than I, and we're not going to go down that rabbit hole. I don't need to fucking upset anybody. If outside of the show people want to know what I honestly think about it, feel free to reach out to me, and I will tell you exactly what I think. I'll leave it with one statement. Trump is a moronic, petty little man who has a real thing for hanging out with totalitarian dictators. He's not intelligent. He's failed at every business he's ever had. He's been bailed out by the government via bankruptcy multiple times. He's a convicted felon and a fucking rapist. I don't know. If I were picking a leader for my country, and I'm not saying Kamala is a huge, amazing option. I'm not saying either. Both options aren't great. The same in Canada. We don't have a good leader of any political party in my country. There's no one worth voting for here. But at the end of the day, if I were picking someone for my country, I definitely wouldn't be picking a narcissistic little whiny bitch boy named Trump. But that's my opinion. And if you like Trump, I will defend your right to like Trump till the day I die. I may not agree with you, but that's allowed. We don't have to see everything the same way to get along, everybody. We don't have to see everything the same way to get along. All right, I'm going to start reading, and I'm going to move on from this. Give me a second here. I have trouble keeping up with you. But damn, woman, you speak English. I do move quickly, though. I know. I apologize, Ganjanana. Smoky Soja, do you grow with salt or organic? Typically, I'm a salt-based grower most of the time, just because, I live in a small apartment now, so for me to do my own actual organic things that I would want to do, I just don't have the room for it right now. In the past, I've done a lot of organic grows. I've made a lot of different teas. I've done living soil. I've done different super soils. I do utilize certain organic things in my grow, but typically most grows that I'm running on the channel, especially with working so much these days, it's just easier to kind of use Green Planet's salt-based line. And not everything from their line is actually a salt-based nutrient either. They've got a lot of great organic products that I'll use. Medi1, originally called Dr. Hornby's Medi1, is a great product that they make, and that is fully organic as well. And yeah. What's up, Sticky Art Fingerboards? I love the name, buddy. That's a fun name. Jay Blaze says, my buds are so frosty, just waiting on them to turn amber. Hell yeah, Jay Blaze. Are you at a fully milked level right now? Like everything's milky, or do you got a nice ambering going on? Did I ask for pay? No, I didn't, but they offered it. So they are paying me vacation pay to go away, even though I've only worked there for 3.5 weeks. So they're very kind. They're being very nice and appreciative to me. Yeah, I heard about that, Jay Blaze, but we're not gonna talk about any of that. I don't believe that that was real. I don't believe. There's no way that that happened twice. I think the guy's setting it up himself, man. Okay, guys. It's not hard to get me going off on a tangent, but we are a grow show. We are about growing marijuana, not politics. I have another channel for that. Is that speed or beer? No, it's just beer, bud. My brain just moves really, really quickly. That guy channel 2, you know I've been using salt-based nutrients for many years now. So Joe Burns, great question. Good. Keep the growing questions coming, everybody. Let's not veer off into a weird political silliness. So that's a great question. So everybody, Joe Burns is asking, do you reuse your potting soil? I do, but always looking to learn. I have reused my potting soil. Typically, I don't. I will admit that often I will then just deposit it into the garden beds at night so my neighbors don't look at me weird. They're like, man, he seems to take a lot of dirt out of his apartment at odd times. I wait till they all go to bed, then I go put it in the garden beds. It's perfectly good to go in the garden beds. And again, you could totally reuse soil. It's not a big deal. The times where I've gone back to back, so where I broke up the root ball, but I left the roots in the dirt. I didn't filter them out. That actually provides kind of like fun little things for your new roots on your next plant to kind of attach to and crawl through. It's actually beneficial. The thing to remember when you're doing it, and since typically I'm often using a salt-based nutrient, so I am running a flushing period at the end. I'm stripping most of any primary or secondary nutrition out of that dirt. So you basically have to start feeding pretty darn quickly. But at the same time, Joe Burns, yeah, you totally can. You can reuse it forever. If you've got a living soil system going, you keep using the same soil because it's a living organism in a sense. It's got all the beneficials in there. You've got worms, you've got microzymes, you've got all these fun, pleasant things. So really, you're kind of mimicking Mother Nature and how it actually works outside doing it that way. Hell yeah, there you go, little Chewy Stewie. All right. What's up, Piff 1000? Good to see you, buddy. Yeah, I'm on vacation, Marcus Pierce, and life is good, man. I got a new job. I'm making good money, everybody. I'm doing well at the job. I was a little nervous going in because I was like, oh, like a lot of these people might have more experience than I do. But then all these people who supposedly have years of experience are kind of dumb and kind of bad at fixing shit. So I'm looking really good at work. Nobody's mad at me. Nobody's fired me. I work for head office. So everywhere I go, I get called sir. That's been weird. I'm not gonna lie to you, everybody. It's weird being called sir a lot. I don't know how I feel about that one. But it is what it is. Jansen Dennis, how are you liking Green Rush Organics? And I will check those photos. I just got to fire up the computer, but since I'm on the phone, I have to fire up the computer to see the Gazzers Madness so tall. Arizona Treasure Hunters. No, yeah. So that guy channel 2, I have run organic over the years. I've never done a straight organic run on YouTube. I will eventually do one, I've got my abilities with organic totally dialed in. I can do the same things with organics that I do with salt based. It's just a lot harder. It's a lot harder to properly get everything you need with an organic grow. It takes longer and it takes some attention to detail. You know what I'm saying? But I could do it one day. Yes, I am a very hairy person, just not on the top of my head. Eugene Dolan, typically that's what I do, or at least that's what I did when I had garden beds. Now I put it into the garden beds of the building I live in. Hey, thank you very much, Yassine. What's a Masonic seed giveaway? Like, as in, like, it's sponsored by the Freemasons? I'm sorry, I'm just teasing. Have a wonderful day, Miss Kay's Garden. Thank you for tuning in. But yeah, so simply put, do you use compost in your soil as well as synthetic fertilizer? Joe Burns, if I had a place to properly compost, I definitely would. The thing to remember though, if you're using a compost that you've had outside, typically though, there's going to be a lot of potential negative things in that as well, bringing it into an indoor grow, mainly pests. So if I were to be using an exterior run and kind of fermented or tempered, shall we say, compost, I'm going to pasteurize that before I let it into my grow. Typically, I'll pasteurize in the oven just to kill off anything negative that's going to be there. And that's how I would then incorporate that into my inside grow. I'm very, very careful about what I bring into my grows, into my house, into my grow space. So, for example, like if I'm at a place, like let's say here in Canada would be like a Canadian Tire or like a Home Depot, and if they're keeping their bales of dirt outside, I won't buy it. I only buy bales of dirt that have been kept inside and protected from the elements. Momo and Pa's Garden of Green. We're liking the new mainlining grow. Hey, thank you very much. I'm excited about it. Like I've wanted to do this experiment for a really, really long time. And it kind of just came to me the other day. The idea of how to do it in the tent. And it's very similar on a micro scale of what I wanted to do at the lab before I sold the house there. So I'm pretty stoked on it myself and pretty excited to see where it's going to go. Let's be frank. It'll take some time, obviously, to kind of get it going, you know what I'm saying? But I think it's going to turn out nice. It was funny to me the amount of people that got so butthurt and bent out of shape about it. First of all, it just shows their own ignorance. And the fact is, if you do everything the same way, you become a Xerox machine, and that's not being a grower. A true grower, in my mind, is switching things up. They experiment. They're always having fun with it. Like, I'm not growing these plants to, like, I have so much weed at all times. Like, I don't need to grow plants for weed anymore. Like, obviously, one day I would eventually run out, and I would need to grow for my own medicine, but I've got a good stockpile. So now where I'm at is like, I'm just having fun experimenting with things, right? Like I want to try some new shit. And, you know, if I can rock a single plant in a 2x4 and get one of the best yields I've ever gotten, even if it does take a little bit longer, like doing a mainline technique the way I'm doing it is not necessarily at all the fastest way to grow. It's not the most efficient way to grow, but that's not ever been the point, right? This isn't like a race, right? This is slow and steady. This is a long distance run approach to we're doing with this grow, right? We're taking our time, training her out, and getting her done. What's up, Lee? Man, good to see you, buddy. Sorry, everybody. I'm just reading here. Hey, happy 427 to you. It's 228 here for me. Ganjanana, your mama, I'm sure it probably will be. The hole I put in there is actually quite big. So the hole that I did is actually in the end, the bottom part of it was done by a half-inch bit, but there's tons of space that I've left at the top. So the way I carved out that channel slot that went in back into the bucket, it adds a lot of space. So I think we'll be fine. Worst case scenario, I'll just go in and I'll cut around the hole with an X-Acto knife and remove a little bit there. And it'll be totally, totally fine in my humble 2 cents. Joe Burns, could you recommend a hash making video? I used to have one on here. Typically how I like to make my hash, there's dry sift hash, obviously. You can make, so basically what you would do is dry ice and a screen of sorts. Usually I would use a bubble bag. You shake it out over a glass, and then you kind of collect your trikes that way and then turn it into hash. I don't do it that way anymore. I find with the dry ice, it dries my trikes out too much, and I'm losing kind of that elasticity, that kind of, if I heat it up and roll it out. So now typically what I'm doing is I'm sort of doing what I would call sort of like a weird blend of old school and new school. So first I run bubble hash. I typically use bubble hash bags in this way. I will use my mixing bag, the next biggest bag, and then the bottom bag. The other bags get very little use for me, because I don't really feel the need to separate things out. I just use the first two bags as filters, then the bottom bag to pull the main pull. I collect all of that, I dry that out, and then I start finishing it in a Frenchy cannoli style. So I pour boiling water into a glass mason jar. I'm rolling it out, I'm squishing it out, and then I let that, and then I throw that in the fridge, temper that, and then I pull it out, then I roll it back together, and I repeat that process anywhere from 4 to 15 times until I get the desired consistency in my hash ball, and then I'm good to go. I actually got to make or meet Bubble Man when I was at the last Lift Expo, which was a couple years ago now. Or was it a year ago, year and a half ago? I can't remember. There's a video of me talking to him, and then I actually hung out with him later that night, smoked a bunch of doobies with him. He's a cool dude, super chill, super nice. Yeah. So Jose, we got. Oh yeah, totally. I remember you commented on that. The easiest way is for us to have a private conversation about that, though, right? Because I need to see exactly what your issue is. Again, I think we've talked about it before, but like, yeah, I can definitely help you figure that out. It's the wiring on our lights is not hard. Like, it's a simple concept, right? So, hey, much love, Arizona treasure hunters. Keep it real, keep it sexy, and we'll talk to you soon. Mudswat, I think I do have a bubble hash video. It may have gotten taken down. We got in trouble for the bubble hash making video, which was weird to me. I'm like, everybody has. There's so many videos on making bubble hash and hash out there, but YouTube got mad at me about it. I don't know if the video is still up. I can't remember. There was at one point a bubble hash video though. Right, Smokey Soja? He's a super chill dude, down to earth, very, very, very lax, cool dude. I'd love to try out their big, super, like $750,000 bubble hash making machine. They've gone industrial and commercial in terms of their company and their designs. And so they were, if you go to the live stream that I did at Lift Expo, you get to see the machine that they've released. It's pretty dope, yo. No, totally, Jose Canella. I will be out of province for 8 days. I will be down in Prince Edward Island, but I'll see if I can find some time where I can give you a shout and we can talk about that. Yeah, it happens sometimes, Mudswat. That algorithm is weird, right? So I that's why I haven't made a bunch more hash making videos, because like I'm still waiting out the last strike I got for making the seed bank video, and they got super mad at me about it. So I'm still waiting. I've got a 3-month period that I've got to wait till that strike goes away. So I'm trying not to piss YouTube off too much right now, as much as I can avoid it. Hell yeah, Smoky Soja. No, bubble hash dude, or the bubble man, whatever the hell. He actually tried my hash and he was blown away. He just looked at me and he's like, dude, this is some of the best hash I've ever smoked. And I'm just looking at him like, haha, you saying that? Holy shit, bro. Well, thank you very much. He tried my Hindu Kush hash that I had made, and then I let it cure and sat for almost 2 years, sealed, and it totally became this wonderful black tarry, wonderful, sexy mess. It was a good time. See you later, Marcus Pyrrhus. Have a beautiful night, my friend. Keep it real and keep it sexy. Okay, perfect. So there we go. Mudswat found a bubble hash video that I did in 2019. Wow. Half a decade ago. So I guess there's still one out there. Oh yeah, that wasn't fun. When I dropped all those seeds, I was not happy about that. That was a frustrating day. Luckily I didn't spill that many, but I spilled enough and I was not impressed with myself. It's never fun when you're cleaning seeds or playing with seeds and then you drop a bunch of them all over the place. Yeah, mud swat. I mean, it all kind of blends together in my head. Things that feel like I did them 2 years ago or like 5 years ago. Things that I did a few weeks ago feel like 10 years ago. No, I'm just joking. But yeah. Sorry, I'm just reading, make sure I haven't missed anyone's comments or questions. If you're new here, by the way, feel free to ask anything you would like in terms of that. Everyone's always welcome to ask questions. Don't be worried if you think I may have answered this question before. You're allowed to ask it anyway. It is all good. Hey, no worries, Joe Burns. Yeah, no, the RSO technique. So do you mean the video that I made on how to make it? Or do you mean the video that I made in terms of turning it into a tincture? I think I released both videos. I think I've got both videos. Here, we'll show you quickly the plant here. Oh, come on, focus, you silly phone. There we go. All those secondaries are now growing up and out. They've turned around. We've got the top here, a couple more inches on that, and we'll strap it down. Oh, and a lot of people have been asking on the video, they've been asking like, oh, well, aren't those zip ties going to eventually cut into the stalk? One, yes, they will eventually if we were to leave them. However, I'm just going to go through and cut the zip ties and reattach zip ties, and you just slowly do that as needed. You stay on top of that. It's not a big deal. To be fair, you could also just keep them on there, and it will cut, and they'll grow around it too, which is weird. And it's not necessarily the best way to help the plant maintain an even flow of nutrition within itself to help it, maximize its grow sense. So I would say, yeah, like just to cut them and readjust them, put new ones on in the same place that are just, bigger. Mudswat, that's not feminized. What if it's male? It's a female. I waited till it gendered. Mudswat. I waited till one of the plants fully gendered, and then that's when I took the step to plant it in. So she's got pistils. It's a female plant. I'm not worried. I waited for it to gender before I did all that work, everybody. No, right? Smoky soja. I mean, it costs a little bit money to really start making hash effectively, but like I love hash more than flour. Hash is one of my favorite things in the whole world. The smell, the taste, the consistency, the effects. It's different than smoking flour. I could smoke hash all night. I love hash. Hash is one of my genuine favorite things in the bloody world. I love smoking hash. I first smoked a lot of hash when I was probably about 15 or 16. Yeah, about 15, 16 or so. I was over in the UK. I smoked a bunch there. And then when I was in France, I made friends with a lot of Dutch people. And so they had predominantly brought only hash with them over from Holland because it was just, one, easier to transport. Two, you can get a lot more joints out of a little bit of hash, right? So, and yeah, they were spliffing it. But I mean, that's the European style anyway. But I fell in love with hash at the age of 15, 16. And it was just so very, very tasty and wonderful. Oh hell yeah, Dan. Dan Stutzky. We used to do the same thing. I mean, I still get gold label occasionally. And yeah, something or a bottle toke where you take a bit of a cigarette with a glass bottle with a hole in it, and then you bottle toke off the cigarette. That was always a good one back in the day too. We had lots of fun doing that. Certainly got you high as shit. Sorry, I'm just looking at the plant, by the way, everybody. She's slowly coming to terms with her new life and bouncing back. And like I said, for those of you who are concerned about the size of the hole, I don't think we're going to need to increase the size of the hole. Honestly, I don't think we will. But if it does come to the fact of we do, it's not going to be that hard to do. So I'm not too worried about it. Ice hooter. What's an ice hooter? I've never heard of that. Joe, I would agree with you in premise. I mean, the shitty thing is in my opinion, like a lot of the hash makers out there aren't very good. They're not overly gifted at what they're doing. So it's still not easy to find really good hash unless you know who to go to. So you know, but I do love hash, and I wish and that's where going like if you go to different parts of the world where hash is culturally part of their cannabis world and their industry, it's just so wonderful. Um, their weed may not be as good as ours in terms of the cultivation techniques and this or that, but they have been making hashish for thousands of years, right? So like just these traditional hashes, albeit yes, many of them, right? They're if you're going to think about it from a honest standpoint, most of the different ways of making hash, they're filled with dead skin cells and hair and stuff because of the way they make it. But it's still really good though. I prefer to keep my human particulate out of my hash if possible. And that's why, making your own hash and really dialing it in. And if you follow the way I said of just using bubble bags, letting it dry out, and then finishing it like a Frenchy cannoli style with the hot water in the mason jar, rolling it, tempering it, smushing it, roll it, temper, smush it, repeat. It really turns into a beautiful thing. And one of the things you got to remember when making hash too is once you've made your hash, okay, keep it, right? Like, yeah, obviously smoke some of it right away, but if you can make enough of it, stash some, let it age over time. 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, 24 months, and it becomes a whole different reality. My end goal really one day is to kind of not only just make tons and tons of hash, but like have a almost like a hash humidor where like I store all my different types of hash and age them like fine wines or curing meats or a whiskey or something like that. You cut the bottom off and put ice in and then cap with the bottom piece. Weird. Joe Burns, 2-year cure, man. You have willpower. I do. Part of how the last one that went over 2 years, though, happened was I've been curing it for close to a year. Then my marriage fell apart. She lied, got me arrested. It cost me $35,000 in court fees to prove that she lied and to prove that I was innocent. And then it took another further 6 or 7 or 8 months after that to come to terms in terms of our divorce or separation and all of that jazz. So I didn't have any of my stuff. So all of my hash was just sitting at the house. Luckily, I ended up getting it back and it was all properly packaged. So by the time I got it back, it had just been sitting there, curing, waiting to come home to daddy. And I remember the day I found it when I was unpacking my shit when it came in. And I was like, yay, the hash. I forgot about this shit. And yeah, it was really good. It was funny. I'm just reading here. Hell yeah, Dan Stutzky. Now, how are you storing your hash as you've been keeping it over the years, Dan? Oh, right, yeah. Okay, give me a second, Jansen. I'll fire up the computer, but whew. I've seriously injured my leg right now. My calf muscle is completely messed up and fucked. It is proving to make walking very hard and painful. And of course, last night I was sitting there doing one-legged squats in the kitchen trying to stretch out my calf and fix it. It didn't work. And then there was like a pop and kind of a rip. And all of a sudden I was like, that's not good. I'll say this, it was very, 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 very painful. Sorry, 1 second here, everybody. All right, so there's one picture of those. All right. So everybody, these are the pictures of the Gazzers Madness here. get nice and big and chunky. So Gazzer's Madness is one of the strains. I think I've got it available at least in the mixer pack on our store. But look at those. Gazzers would love seeing this. Too bad he's not in the show. He could see how big his plants are. So this Gazzer's Madness is an F2 that I produced from the initial F1 that Gazzers did. And it went out to Jansen there in a Christmas present that his wonderful wife organized for him. And yeah, so we sent out a bunch of different beans for him to play with, and that's some of the Gazzer's Madness there, buddy. Gazzer's Madness, origin story, New Zealand, F2'd in BC, grown out to that size in Ontario. Hell yeah, buddy. All right. Yo, what's up, Roman? How you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Nice, in a glass jar? Sweet. So, Dan, I typically will store in glass sometimes. Another way I'll do it, too, is I'll break my hash up into smaller bits. And so, a couple, 2-3 grams or maybe an eighth. And then I'll take that and I'll kind of smush it out into a disc. I wrap that into food grade high-end sort of parchment paper, like the really high-end shit, the stuff that costs too much, but it is really nice compared to the dollar store parchment paper, for example. And then I'll seal that all up. And typically I'll actually put it into Mylar bags, which is keeping all forms of light radiation and stuff out of it and stuff. And then I'll just, let it sit and hang out. At first I might gas it off a little bit and let it breathe and gas off a bit. But then I don't even break the seal anymore. I don't let it gas off. I don't let it breathe. That's part of the long cure on hash for it to really kind of become this sexy, funky thing. So after a number of months of maybe gassing it off occasionally, I will stop gassing that off and just completely leave it. You know what I'm saying? Oh, hell yeah. Well, thank you for popping in, Roman. Good busy day or bad busy day, buddy? Hell yeah, Smoky Soja. What kind of crosses from where? What are their origin stories? Apple Betty. That sounds like a fun strain. I've never heard of Apple Betty. What's its origins? What's its background lineage? If I'm remembering correctly, the Gazzer's Madness was a mix of K-Town Kush and AK-47. The K-Town Kush also, if I'm remembering correctly, I believe was a Master Kush meets... I'm trying to remember now. It's been a hot minute since I thought about what went into Gazzer's Madness. Or into the K-Town. It's listed on our store. It's all there. So if you go to potsquatchsales.com and then you scroll down to the mixer pack. So we've got a small mixer pack and a big mixer pack available on our store. And then other things that are just straight strains. I think I wrote down the information on what went into the K-Town in there. I can't remember, though. I'm pretty sure it's there. There you go, Mudswat. Mudswat's like, I smoke a bowl every time you crack a beer. Well, here, I just cracked another one, so smoke up there, bud. All right, so everybody, if you see that link that Mudswat so kindly just shared for me there, that is the products page and products section of the online Potsquatch store. We got hats, t-shirts, grinders, papers, beard oil, CBD, and our genetics. One thing I'm really excited about is for almost 4 years now, I think. Almost 4 years. Maybe longer, actually. Maybe almost 6 years now. People have been asking for us to release toques. So this year, I'm actually going to release toques. If I can save enough money up to buy them. We will be bringing them in limited edition, so there won't be many of them. So they will cost a little bit more, too. But we're going to be bringing in... Oh, by the way, America, you call them beanies. The proper name is toque, though, by the way. Just saying. But we'll be bringing those in, and we might even bring in some hoodies, some limited edition hoodies as well. Toques are first, and then we'll bring in hoodies, maybe. But I promise I will get toques at least on the store for this winter for everybody. Basically gives me... When does it really start getting cold? Let's say I will have them by November. I will shoot to have them ready for November, everybody. Chem's sister sour apple crossed by sour diesel. Ooh, shit. Damn, that apple Betty sounds like it'd be really fucking gassy then, man. Sexy. Roman Reckless says, doing a complete breakdown and deep clean of my main grow room, 4x8, and a 4x4 on one wall, and a 4x8 and a 4x4 on the opposite wall, with everything else included. Ceiling to floor, exhausted a bit. Holy shit, Roman. Yeah, I would be too, bro. That's a lot of work. I got frustrated cleaning a 2x4 the other day. But good on you, buddy. Good on you. Oh, that's one thing I want to talk about. So when we do go into flower on our thing, I'm going to have to add a few accoutrements to the tent. So one, I'm actually going to be getting some fans, and I'm going to be mounting those fans underneath the canopy that we're building to shoot air up through the canopy. We're going to do that to keep breathability perfect as it fills up and it thickens out, so we don't run into any issues like bud rot or other shit like that. And then I am going to hopefully be able to save up enough money quickly by the time I need to flip this experiment. And I'm probably just going to bite the bullet and order an AC Infinity air system. I mean, I don't even know if you can order them on their own. I'm sure you can. Maybe I might have to order one of their tents that comes with that shit. I don't need their lights. I got my own lighting brand, but I would love one of their tents and sort of the super fancy digital ballast air controllers that I can integrate within my phone and all that. Like, I'm a nerd at my heart of hearts, and I really genuinely can't wait to try their systems. Fuck yeah, Roman Reckless. Say, repping the Squatch lights. I love that. You know, we are a little lighting brand, but we're out there. We're real, and we're legit. We actually use top shelf bins. Our mean wheel drivers are real mean wheel drivers. And Roman Reckless is one of the people out there that owns a lot of rigs. And so there's Roman Reckless has a bunch of them. I think you bought one for your mom even, didn't you, Roman? That's when I felt the love. When you bought one of our lighting systems for your mom, I was like, bro, that is just so cute. I love that. Hell yeah. See, Roman, I've never played with AC Infinities. I've just watched them and like looked into them a lot over the years. And I'm really impressed with what their tech looks like to me. So I really want to give them a try. I mean, in a perfect world, they'd reach out and they'd say, "Hey, Potsquatch, we want to send you our tech to try out." And I would say, because I'm willing to try companies' tech, but I'm going to be honest about it. I don't think AC Infinity needs to be worried about me trying their tech though, because I think it's fire, and I think I'm just going to love every second of it. But that's kind of my hopes and my dreams, everybody. I want to get an AC Infinity tent, and for this grow too, because just when we fire up a double squatch and a 2x4, even though we've got the exterior mounting driver that's not in the tent, that's still a shitload of heat energy that's coming off those rigs, and I don't want to stress things out. So we're definitely going to need a better air intake and actually have an exhaust for once, because right now I don't have an exhaust. I've been running positive air pressure in there, and it's a shitty diodine, one of the cheapest tents on Amazon, so it's like, it's not airtight, so shit will leak out, and it's pretty good. Dude, that's dope, Roman. I love it. Yeah, I really want to play with the AC Infinity tech, everybody. Here. I've got to do a bunch of shit before I go to the airport, so I don't want to get like too crazy high. So I went and bought one of these for my trip. What's the name of the company? It might be Box Hot. I don't know if that's actually the name. It says that on here, but it's an Alien OG little vape. It costs way too much for me to buy this thing, but it is really nice. Perfect for when you're on the go and you just need to have a little tokey pokey, you know what I mean? So like when I'm at the wedding or something like that, I mean, because like the joints I'm going to be bringing with me to this wedding are going to be like filled with crumble and live rosin, so they're going to stink. I'm going to roll those after the show and get a bunch of fatties ready for the trip just in case I need them. I mean, the stag night's on Tuesday. It is going to be like a tame stag night for Big A, It's being organized by the woman he's marrying's brother, so it's like, he's not going to go get in trouble with his sister. So we're gonna go axe throwing, I think. So we're gonna go throw some axes and drink a bunch of beer and eat some dead animals. It still sounds like fun to me. Yeah, Dan. I mean, I've never tried them. I mean, if I'm gonna be spending money on a rig, like a tent and system and stuff, the next thing I'm gonna buy is an AC Infinity tent. That's really what I want to do. For those of you who are curious, if you click that link that Mud Swant just shared, those are our lights we released in partnership with Soul Stripped there. And check them out, Squatch Lighting Systems. We designed them simply. They crank. They're built like hot rods, and they're easy to fix. They're designed to be fixed, maintained, and even upgraded. And if Jose Canela, if you're still there, I think it was you, we can talk soon in the next couple of days, hopefully, about fixing the wiring on your light and getting that back up and running. Yeah, I had some interesting pics sent to me too. Chef Life, I believe he's called on YouTube. We'll call him a boy down in the States. I can't remember where is he from. It'll come to me later. So, he's an executive chef by day/night, and then he, grows a shitload of weed and raises lizards and spiders. So half of his house is a grow up, and half of his house is like atriums with like lizards and spiders that he breeds. He's rocking a lot of Squatch lights in there too. I think he's got like 10 or 12 double Squatch rigs now. And then Stanky Dank Gardens that moved to Florida, they're not reset up. They're just running some tents now, but they had 16 or 18 double Squatch systems, and they even had a custom Squatch light that we built for them that was even bigger and more badass than anything that we publicly have on like the store there. But yeah, good times, man. Good times. Oh, dude, potash is great. Classic fucking thing to use, my friends. Sorry, everybody. I'm just reading. Smoky Soja says one is Pulga Village Indian land race. Interesting. Cross. And the other's a Tasgurgan Afghan land race. Cross. Still waiting on them from Masonic Seeds. Okay, cool, bro. That sounds really sexy, Smoky. I've got some Afghan F2 based from Land Race Origin story or origin story kind of a thing that O'Shea gave us, or the Irish Squatch, as you may know him on the interwebs. I've got a bunch of those. I think that's probably what I'm going to grow next. After we're done this mainlining experiment, or if I get another tent before this one's done, and then I can actually have 2 tents going, which would be super dope. Then maybe, but that's what I'm going to rock next. I think we're going to rock those Afghan genetics next. Got to have some fun with it. You know what I'm saying? Roman, I think, just sent us an email with some pictures that said the subject line was weed titties. So, of course, I've closed the computer now. Now I'm going to open it again. All right. Give me a second here. And we're going to go into the email. That's the wrong email. That's the right email, I think. There we go. Got some outdoor weed titties, I believe, from Roman here. Oh, very nice, very nice. Looking nice and frosty in the early stages of its life, Roman. I like it. That's a nice big mamba jamba right there. I like it. Looking good, brother. Now, are you just letting those run free there, bro? Or do you have them like tied up or like strutted up in any way, or are they just kind of doing their thing? Dude, Smoky Soja, I might be able to. Stanky Dank Gardens is Cadillac Jack. He's one of my bros, man. He's a fucking OG, man, Potsquatch, and I love that man. He's a good dude. Man's also one of the most intelligent mechanics you've ever legitimately ever talked to. I'll tell you a story, everybody, about Cadillac Jack's brilliance of cars. This one time, my Cadillac, which was at the time a 2007 CTS, was something weird was happening. I just bought it, and there was something weird going on, and I wasn't sure. And I called him. I was on the side of a mountain. I was at a gas station. I make a video call to Cadillac Jack, owner of Stanky Dank Gardens, and I called him and I said, "Man, like something's going on." He's like, "Shut up and let me listen." Shuts his eyes, and he listens. He's like, "Check the PCV line on the driver's side." All right. Look at it, looks fine. But then upon closer inspection, I discovered that stupid thing had been taped together. So the negative, or the engine pressure that would actually regulate like where my engine oil's going and all of that jazz was off and wrong. And then there's oil leaking into the cylinders. The fifth cylinder had the coil boot fucking fused on to the spark plug. And Cadillac Jack, over a like badly connected Skype call in America, me calling from a mountain in BC, could decipher what was exactly going on, and it totally was. Just listened for like 30 seconds, and he's like, "Check this." It was. That's Cadillac Jack. He's good people, man. And he grew some dank weed back the day before he left. He was, where was he before? I think he was maybe in Oregon or somewhere else. I don't know. But he moved down to Florida because he wanted to be closer to his grandkids and shit, so. What's that, Jansen? What happened? Look, we have a fun little pretend troll in the show. Hello, Doctor. Welcome to the show. But anyway, my friends, I'm sorry. I got to keep the show really, really short this one. I've still got a lot of stuff to do. I got to be at the airport. I got to leave in a number of hours to head to the airport there. So I'm going to go put some laundry in the dryer that I probably should have done before the show. And I'm going to continue packing and cleaning my house for it not being terrible when Uncle Michael comes to take care of my dogs. Anyway, everybody, thank you for tuning into the show today. We will, we'll bring you an update on the plant, well, when I get back. So that'll be in like 8 or 9 days. And then you'll get to see what's going on. Everybody pray that Uncle Michael is able to not fuck up. I believe in him. We're going to keep it simple for him. He doesn't have to make executive decisions, and I'll video call him so he can show it to me. I will do it over the phone. But, yeah, it will be a good time. And Smokey Soja, does that dude have any social? I mean, on Facebook at least. He's probably got an Instagram, I guess, too. I don't really pay attention to Instagram, but I'm friends with him on Facebook. He's one of the members in our Potsquatch Growers community on Facebook as well. So, yeah. I do apologize for the short show, everybody, but I got to get ready and go get on an airplane. So, like, subscribe if you want to. Tell your friends. Share the videos. Thank you very much. Check out our store, potsquatchsales.com. And remember, the true grower is a forever student. The true grower is not afraid to take risks. The true grower makes educated, stupid decisions. And hell, everybody, have some fun with your plants. Try something new. Be brave. Be brazen. Play around. Get weird. Get funky. Grow some weed titties. All right, Uncle Potsquatch loves you. Peace out.